We'll take the win. Got to give Arkansas Little Rock full credit. They played great. They kicked our butt that first half, really probably the first 30 minutes or so. I just didn't feel the players, the way we prepared, I didn't feel they were ready to go mentally, them personally. I don't know if it's finals week, but I'm not an excuse guy, what it was. And so we're practicing early tomorrow. So I told them, you don't have time to talk to the media. It's a privilege to talk to the media. We know it's not a right, it's a privilege, the coverage that we get. And so you're going to get yourself a good night's rest. We're going back early tomorrow morning and getting after it. And to understand that we're still in the mode of course correction. Bottom line is our 4 senior guards were awful the first half. They weren't good, the 4 senior guards, the first half. And I'm just telling you, there is not a backup plan. Those guys have got to be good every single night because I'm rolling with them. I'm putting my eggs in those 4 guys' basket. And that's just the bottom line. I'm putting my eggs in their basket, so they've got to be really good. And they weren't good the first half. And when they're not good, it's not just about shooting. They weren't good on rebounding, defensively, just in all areas. And when they play poorly like that, it makes it really hard. And I thought Shaq Goodwin was excellent the second half, but he was not good the first half. So you got to give Little Rock credit, but our first half, you know, and all I talked about for the last 72 hours about Little Rock, about understanding you can't sleepwalk. You have to be so ready to go. You can't give this team any hope. And they do have good players. And, you know, our guys came out and thought maybe, I don't know what it was, that they thought they could just go away from the system that what's been working for us. And we went away from that. They went away from that. And so now second half, those guys played well. They made free throws. They hit some good shots. They played good defense. But for what we want to do, it's got to be 2 halves. So, again, I'm grateful for the win because it's way better to win, but it's a good little lesson for us that it's a privilege to wear that jersey with Memphis on the front.
Coach, you said you weren't happy with your 4 senior guards in the first half there, but you put them in there after that first media timeout. You guys go on a huge run and get back in the game. So I guess talk about how key that was, because otherwise, you all might have been in a little bit more trouble than you were. Yeah, no, I just felt we just needed some energy. I felt we had to go small ball. I just felt defensively we weren't, doing what we needed to do. I thought David Pelham did a really good job. I thought he was the one guy that was prepared from the beginning mentally, like he was ready to go. And but I had to go small ball, and it ended up working for us. Those guys, again, like I said, the second half, the guards, last 12, 13 minutes, those 4 senior guards are pretty good. Shaq was really good the whole second half. But hey, I'm just telling you, I'm rolling with those 4 senior guards the entire year. Those guys are going to have to get the job done. And if there's going to be games where a guy or maybe 2, but 1 could be off, but you got to have the other 3 step up. Tonight, that first 20 minutes, all 4 were off. They're out of rhythm. They're out of sync. They didn't play good defense, making silly passes, and that's why we were in the predicament we were in. And I'm okay with us having a result that's, it is what it is. If there's a result that's not in our favor, or if it's a close game, if we play the right way. And I didn't think we played the right way as we've been doing with course correction and trusting the process. So that's why I was disappointed in the first half. And again, you guys know I've always said it. I'm a better coach. Our team looks better when we're making shots, and we weren't making shots that first half. And that's on those 4 senior guards. So.
At what point, you said the preparation was not there. At what point did it go bad? Because I think Wednesday you were pretty happy with the way they were preparing.
I thought, you're right. I thought Monday we had an excellent practice. And Wednesday I thought we were actually halfway decent. I thought yesterday we were sloppy. And it was long. We were there longer than I wanted to be because I kept having to do it over and over and over. And and again, I'm not making any excuses at all because I'm not into that. I mean, we were all screwed up this week with practice because I had 4 guys. Each practice have to leave early or come late. We couldn't because of the final exam schedules. It was just the only time I could practice with the guys together for a full 2 hours without any interruptions would have been from 8 to 10 at night. And I didn't want to do that because I just didn't think it was fair to them for the final situation, them being student athletes. So, we just had to mix and match. But I felt Monday we were fine, Wednesday we were fine. I just felt yesterday we were just not there, and I felt even last night when we brought back to film. I thought, you know, it just happens. You know, again, if those four seniors play better, I'm sitting here, you know, doing jumping jacks, but they didn't play well. And I'm just telling you, when they don't play well, our team is not going to be as good. We need those guys to be really good every single time on the floor. That's what it is going to be. It doesn't mean anybody else doesn't have to be ready or produce or anything like that. It's just that our system, we're counting on those guys to be elite, not individually, but collectively. That's the key word, collectively.
Josh, you've talked about how Shaq's energy kind of rubs off. Did you say anything to him that so you're going to have to try and maybe get him going so that it would rub off?
Absolutely, Eli. I thought like I told him, you know what? Austin didn't play well. And I thought part of that was because Shaq, and I'm not, again, Austin's got to take responsibility, but because Shaq's energy was poor the first half, and Austin's energy was poor the first half, and then the other guards. And I said, hey, Shaq, whether we like it or not, you have got to be the energy giver. And you reminded me that first 20 minutes of how you played, and I know you were in foul trouble, was when we played Lipscomb last year right before the Christmas break. I don't know if anyone remembers that game. Him and Tark together, I mean, they were just slow. It was like slow motion. And walking through, it was like going through, you know, quicksand, and it was just so slow. And that's how Shaq was the first half. I said, Shaq, you cannot be like that for our guys. And even if you're 2 of 20, you got to bring energy. I don't care if you miss every shot, but your energy has to be so good. And, you know, it is what it is. You're a little more energized at times when you make shots, but Shaq, the second half, was a monster. And Eli, we're a better team. Austin's a better player if Shaq can be like that both ends of the floor. And again, you know, should we have the players? I didn't have the players talk to the media, and like I said, I just think it's a privilege. I'm not a guy that think it's a right. Maybe I'm the wrong how I look at things, but I look at it's a privilege, the coverage that we get, and I tell our guys that all the time. So, you know, some people might say, hey, coach, you're bailing them out. I'm not bailing them out because I look at it like it's a privilege to talk to the media. It's not a right. And plus we're practicing tomorrow early and we're going, so they need to go home and get some sleep and get ready to go.
And Coach, did you feel at times during the first half that your team was forcing the issue instead of letting the game come to
No question. I thought we played first side, first half. Try to make home run plays, stupid plays. It's just not us. You know, again, I'm grateful for the win, but it's always good you can learn some lessons and still win the game. But that first half, our 4 senior guards were not good. Go ahead.
Chris hadn't practiced all week, and he played tonight on that ankle. Can you talk about his game tonight and then reaching that 1,000-point mark?
Yeah, well, Chris hit some big threes the second half. He had 6 boards, 5 assists. I mean, Chris played very well. He didn't practice all week, and I wasn't going to play him. He gave me the thumbs up right before game time that he's good to play. And if he didn't play, we might have probably lost the game. I mean, he helped us win the game big time in a lot of different areas that probably don't even show up on the box score. And so he really came through for us. I was proud of Chris. To get anytime you can score over 1,000 points in a college career is a special feat.
You talked about Pelham, and it looked like he had a lot of spring in his legs. How close is he to 100%?
He's good. He's 100% now. He's good, and he's getting there. So he's on. I mean, the doctors have all said he's 100%.
The obvious question now is, how does this change? You've got a big game coming up on Tuesday. How does this change how you guys prepare? And does it change anything?
No, nothing. No, I mean, this is. I mean, we all. It happens. I mean, this happens. I mean, so there's no change. It's just, okay, we got to, again, tighten the ship. You know, I mean, you just got to keep it tight. You just can't, and for them to understand that we're that type of team that has to be, you know, you're you know, just really keeping everything so tight, and you can't allow any freedom in a sense that I like to give freedom, but you give a little freedom, then maybe we're not where we need to be. So again, we'll be fine. I mean, we've got a chance to have a great year. I mean, I love our team now. I love our team. Like, I think we've got a chance to be really good, really, really good. But the key is going to be those 4 senior guards. It's just however we look at it, those 4 guys have got to be great every time we step on the floor. And that's not pressure. That's facts. That's reality. They're seniors. They're men. They got to get the job done every time we step on the floor.
No, not one bit. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, you look around the country. I mean, Duke had the game versus Vermont and squeaked by. I mean, Michigan State, you know, that one with Columbia. I mean, it just happens. I mean, it's just basketball. I keep saying the margin of error. You're dealing with human beings. Things happen. It's just part of, you know, it's just basketball. Of course, I would rather have had a different, you know, larger, you know, not been so stressed, but it's just, it happens. So I'm not concerned one bit. Okay, thanks everybody.